Good morning. This is Good Friday, which is the alternative. This is Black Friday, which is the alternate to Good Friday, which means that instead of worshiping whatever you worship on Good Friday, on this day, you worship the almighty dollar. And you're out 135 million, I would say, worshipers are now lining up, pushing each other out of the way and acting like a bunch of terrorists to get whatever they want. Well, good luck, terrorists. Oh, I'm sorry, shoppers. Now, let's go on to the other things on my mind today. Of course, you all heard that there's a ceasefire. Well, it's not really a ceasefire. It's more or less of a hiccup in the war until we find out where we all stand. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is pretty simple. There's a truce, which is not really 100% of a ceasefire, but there's a temporary truce of 60 days that was agreed upon in Lebanon only, not the rest of the world, not in Gaza, certainly not, but in Lebanon. And why 60 days, you may ask? Because 60 days from now, Trump will be in power and all bets will be off. We'll have to see what Trump has to say, if there won't even be a continuation of the ceasefire, or if it's going to be gangbusters and we take out the power plants and we take out the nuclear facilities and we take out everything that we can with full 100% American help. Well, we'll see. So as far as that bit of news goes, we turn the page, and now Gaza. Well, Gaza, it doesn't have a ceasefire. That's true. Our latest thing that we promised them, if they'd be good boys and girls, is we promised that they would have a say in their own government, but not a control of their own government. But not to worry. Each family that gives back one of the hostages will get $5 million per hostage and complete and absolute, all charges dropped, no questions asked, and they can go back to their own life and live as wealthy potentates in Gaza or any other country that they want. They are going to receive, them and their entire family, immunity of prosecution by the Israelis. Now, the interesting thing is that nobody's applied. Now, you couple that with the fact that nobody's ever given us any proof of life of the remaining hostages. Well, maybe they're just waiting to see how much we'll pay for the return of the bodies of hostages, even if they know where they are. Well, that's kind of bleak, isn't it? And especially to give you this bleak news after wonderful Thanksgiving and before Shabbat, but that's the way it is. So let's go on a little bit further in this discussion. We've talked about Thanksgiving. We've talked about Lebanon. We talked about Gaza. We've talked about the hostages. Well, it's not that it's exhausted our things to talk about, because there's so many things to talk about. Rebuilding Israel is very hard. Rebuilding the families is very hard. I don't believe there's anybody in Israel that doesn't have post-trauma PTSD, and believe me, I know. I went through it after Vietnam. The feeling of incompletion, betrayal, and loss. How do you deal with that? Well, the truth is, you don't deal with it. How do psychiatrists deal with it? The truth is, psychiatrists don't do it. Basically, I know this is trite, but you place your faith in God as you preserve God to be, and God takes care of it. It takes a time. It takes a long time, but you'll come out the other side almost normal. Maybe a little weird, but almost normal. Let's see. I guess that's basically it. I want to wish all of the people that have contributed to my PayPal account. Thank you very, very much. It's appreciated. Of course, out of the 4,600 friends I have, still less than a half dozen contribute anything at all. Well, I suppose that's because you don't like PayPal. So included in my post, I posted my email address. I'm sorry, not my email, my snail mail address. Because I remember for the last 53 years, my grandmother, Mrs. Hazel Barber, was a saint, would send in an envelope $1 for the kids, for the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren. And when it amounted to much, that she sent it every couple of days, and when it built up, well, we used it to buy things for the children. Now, I assume that the mail still works in America, so if any of you want to do the same, Hanukkah's coming up, and if you can put $1 in an envelope and send it out to the address that I gave you, all of you, buy things for the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren for Hanukkah, and you will get credit for having contributed to Hanukkah in the next world, this world, well, wherever you want it, except, of course, Hamas won't like it. But what's the difference? Now, I want to thank you all. You know that I'm basically erasing those who have never answered and never contributed to my websites, or not my websites, but to my Facebook account. The first response I got from Facebook that there are somewhere around 2,000 to 2,600 that need to be removed. Now, it's not a punishment. It's just simply for those of you who do contribute, you get a better algorithm, and that means that you can get quicker and faster posts from me without having to wait because of the 2,000 plus people who are no longer in existence at all. They aren't there. So I'm not aiming this in any way, manner, shape, or form at my loyal subscribers. I'm trying to make Facebook a better place for you and for me. So Shabbat Shalom. And I'll be seeing you again with God's help if I'm not dead first. Well, this is a war. Take care now and be safe. And always, always, always be happy.